What's going on, everybody? This is the Django from Ride With Me, and in this segment, I want to talk about riding your own ride. Now, see, I didn't understand what that meant until I actually got out there and started riding my own motorcycle. I was trying to keep up with people that were on the streets and had been on the streets for, 8 to 9 years, and I understood that I couldn't do that. That's going to cause accidents. You're not learning anything, you're just out there trying to, I guess, show out and show off. So what I had to do is I had to take some things back and dial it back. So my first time ever getting a bike was a 150cc. And the first couple of days, somebody pulled out in front of me on the road, and I had to do what they say, layer down. So I had to lay it down. I slid about maybe 8 feet, come to a stop, picked my bike up, and whatever parts was laying down, and got myself home. That day, I understood and started to understand what they mean by riding your own ride. If you're just a beginner, just like I am, again, I'm still a beginner, and I've been riding for a while, almost a year, and I'm still a beginner, or a squid, as they would call it. If you're a beginner, don't try to hang with the big dogs just yet. So I jumped from a 150 to a 250cc, and the problem is I've never been from a 250cc and up. So I have no knowledge of the power or the torque in these, in a 600, or 1,000, or even a 400. I know that I'm ready for it. I just haven't had the chance to ride one. But still, within that, I need to ride my own ride. Now, I know how to ride the 250cc, and it's got a little bit more forgiveness than a 400cc from what I've been told. It's a little lighter bike. You can kind of throw it around. You're not really going to do too much to where it's going to cause too much damage to you or that bike. They were fairly easy to use and easy to learn on. I know the first problem I ever had riding my bike was learning how to even ride out of first gear, because again, I had no mentor, and everything that I learned online. Yeah, that helped, but that wasn't hands on. I'm more of a hands on person. Somebody said, well, why don't you go take the safety course? Well, the safety course where I'm at is either $250 or $300. I'm not saying I couldn't afford it. I'm just saying I wanted to learn how to ride, again, my own ride, before I took the safety course, so I could feel a little bit more comfortable from what I'm doing. And again, even then, within a couple of weeks, I started riding. I was still trying to keep up with the big dogs. I'm at the light. I'm trying to do what they're doing. They're revving their motorcycles. I'm trying to rev mine. I started to do that stuff, and then I quickly learned that you know that's not riding my ride. I'm trying to show out for other people. And I figured out the best way that you can show out is by learning how to ride and learn how to ride better. There's a lot of people online right now that would be more than happy to show you and to teach you how to ride better. First, get to the basics. Let's get to the basics, like your trail braking, learning your 70/30 as far as braking. Now, me personally, when I brake, I use a little bit of both. I use the hand brake and the back brake, but I don't use the back brake at high speeds. I slowly, gradually pull on the front brake, and when I get slow enough, after I've rev matched and get my bike down to go slow enough, then I'll start matching it with my back brake. But other than that, I don't use the back brake at high speeds, because I don't want something to happen to where I'm laying it down sideways or whatever have you. Again, these are things that I had to learn by watching people online, and I did not have a mentor to do this. So I do want to send shout outs to these people. One of them being Why Not Ride. I'm sure you've heard that a lot on my channel, was Why Not Ride. Best content I've ever seen as far as teaching a person how to ride. I love his Not Today Satans. They're great. You all need to check those out. Two, safety courses. Dan the fireman. Dude's great. He shows you what not to do, what to do, when to do it, how to do it. That's actually where I started to learn some of my leaning techniques, was through Dan the fireman. Another one was Adobo Moto. This guy is great. When I needed to figure out how to lube my chain, how to replace my chain, what this meant, what that meant, whatever I was looking up, this guy Adobo Moto at that platform, great. I mean, I'm He tells you about track suits. He tells you about boots. He tells you about gloves. He goes over everything that you might need, not only as a beginner, but also as somebody who's already in an intermediate or even an expert. Because I see a lot of these people out there that's riding no shirt, sandals, and all that. And I'm not me. Not today. Not for me. No, thank you. So again, riding your own ride. Try not to keep up with them. Now, when you get a few months into it and you feel the bike out and you know that bike a little bit better, then yeah, maybe step up and try to hang around with the bigger boys and all that good stuff. But until then, keep yourself safe. Wear all your equipment. I mean, every bit of it. Yeah, I might wear this, but I normally have a sports jacket underneath this as well. I have both types of gloves, like I've mentioned before, the short gloves and gauntlets. I have cruising boots, and I have my boots that come all the way up to your calves. I have everything that I need to have as far as riding a motorcycle. A lot of this stuff was mentioned to me, or me watching the YouTube videos from the creators I have mentioned. Now, the last but not least, a lot of people has asked me, even where I live, where'd you get that hat? This hat comes from demonsrow.com. The guy talks about MC culture and nothing but MC culture all day. And this guy is phenomenal, let me tell you. He tells you about... Just go watch the guy's... I can sit here and talk to you about it all day, but it's not going to do you any justice. Go check that guy's channel out if you're into MC culture, and I'm sure you'll be happy about it, because I was definitely happy about that channel. Another channel I want to send shout outs, and this guy, man, this guy is amazing, and his name is JD Delay. This guy puts himself into everything, and ain't scared. Not one bit. I think he was down in Portland, Oregon, and people were trying to get in his face, and this dude not budged one bit, kept everything peaceful. And I'm talking, that's what I'm talking about. We need out there as well. And I want to send good shout outs to him. And man, keep up the good work. Actually, I heard about SOS, or Demons Row, through JD Delay, and that's the reason why I'm sitting here with this hat and a couple other things you see behind me. Again, keep up the good work, guys. I'm just out here trying to kick a little knowledge of something I know. That's why I said ride with me as a journey. I talk to you guys, and eventually you'll come and talk to me and tell me some things that I can do better. And maybe we can conversate back and forth. You know, I love that. I love constructive criticism. It helps build characters. And, you know, I think it's a great community for people like me who don't have a lot of people out that they're riding with to actually join in and ride. So again, you know, drop a like, leave a comment. I just want all my new riders to be safe. And I don't want you all to be scared of riding, because I'm going to tell you what, once you get into the rider world, once I got into the rider scene, it was phenomenal. It was beautiful. Unfortunately, I had been wanting to I wanted to ride motorcycles when I was 8 years old. My family, unfortunately, couldn't afford it for where we lived. You know, we couldn't. And it wasn't until I was like 42, 41 that I actually got a motorcycle that I could ride. Now, I bought motorcycles before. I had bought a Honda Goldwing, fully stocked. It had the running lights, the baggers. It had everything on it. Then it got snatched. I had a Yamaha XJ 750, which was ratted out. The seat was actually almost on the back tire. It was an awesome bike. It needed a carburetor fix, but I didn't know any mechanics. And again, I was 24 at that time, and I knew nothing about bikes. So I ended up having to get rid of that. So I had two bikes that I had never ridden in the ages of 20 that I never got to ride. Which that's okay, because I'm riding now. And I'm glad I am, because I'm here to tell new riders like myself that might be afraid to get out there. Ride the bike. It's all good. Get you a mentor. I'm telling you, the worst that's going to happen to you the first time you start riding is you're going to stall that bike. You're going to stall that bike, because you're going to know whether you can hold that bike up or not, first of all. But you're going to stall it plenty of times. I think I stalled mine like 7 or 8 times that first day. The second day, maybe once. The third day, not at all. By the ending of the week, which I'm going to post up, by the ending of the week, I was teaching somebody else how to ride a motorcycle. Now, again, granted, I wasn't the best, but I could get you up and I could get you going and I could teach you certain little fundamentals that I had learned. So, again, as always, everybody, keep your head up, wheels down, ride safe.